Good. So Cody, you've been using DDS Dashboard, the digital org board, the stat system. Tell me your thoughts about its use and your ability to use this as a tool as an office manager.
Yeah, so the dashboard is probably one of the best tools that we've ever gotten in our office, especially when you're learning all this tech with the Power program. We went from non-existence, as most clients do. And, when you get the dashboard, now you have something to start implementing all of these tools that you've learned about, and it's all consolidated in one place. So it makes it really easy, to just go on there, look at all your stats, and then also you can bring in your hatting packs, your checklists, your check sheets, really anything you want in the tech that you learn about, and especially moving towards, expansion, with your organization, right? Because that's what everybody wants, right? They want to expand, they want to get more practices, right? You need to consolidate all of your information in one place. And if you don't do that, you're going to go crazy trying to keep track of all of these things. So you want to work smarter, not harder, right? So get dashboard. You want it.
Awesome.
Right.
Cody, tell me this. So when you say consolidate everything and you talk about how this has assisted you in working smarter, not harder, smarter, not longer, etc. Tell me a little bit about, how do you use that?
Yeah. So every day, I go in and I sit down and I look at all of our statistics for the day, for the week. Our staff is trained to go in there at the end of the day and put in their stats. And then when we do our executive meeting at the end of the week, we can go in there and we look at all of our stats. It's all in one place. When we do our OIC meetings with our team, it's all in one place. All of this information is in one place. You're not having to go across multiple platforms to use it or do anything with it. It's just all in one place. And the great thing is we all want less paper. I hate paper. So Dashboard makes it really great because I'm not dealing with all this paper that I was before.
Tell me a little bit about how long it took for you to get familiar with it. I know now you've worked a lot with the development team, kind of in running bugs in the early piloting stage.
Right.
But let's pretend that you just put it in your office. And how long would you think it would take for a person to get it up and get familiar with using it?
So you probably want your office manager to probably set up the dashboard if you don't have an SO. I'm the SO for our practice. So I have a little bit more time to work on it, but you can probably be using some of its basic functionality within a month. You have to set up your org board, of course, and that's probably the first thing I would do. Get your organization in place, and then start getting your staff on stats. And once you've got your stats in and everybody's keeping track of that, inputting it, then you can go back and you can start looking at putting your hatting manuals in there, putting your checklists in there, all your policies, everything else that the platform will allow you to do. That's just something that you can do over time. But the statistics are the big thing that you want to get your staff using right away. And it does not take very long to do that. It's as simple as going in, clicking on the statistics page, and just, hey, I want to add this stat, I want to make it numeric, I want to make whatever you want for it. It takes seconds. So it's a tool that you can use almost right away.
Awesome. How often would you say, Cody, are you using this tool?
Every day. Many times a day. So
great. Tell me a little bit about what is the use, like how does it fall into your day? Where do you use it as a tool? What are some of the things you do? Maybe give a little picture of like, this is what I do and where it comes into play.
Yeah. So, the big thing is like when you have changes in your practice and you are, the schedule hasn't been so great. Maybe you're down on your staff, they've been sick. Many different things are going on, right? So we want to try to stay on top of that with our statistics, right, by looking at trends. So I'll go in there and I'll try to see, okay, where are we at? And then I'll compare that with my goals, right? And I'll look at goals. And the whole point of this is to make, an action plan, right? So every day, I'm looking at this for action plans, right? And it's giving me things to do, right? Because my job is to make sure my staff is normal and above, right? So however well the staff does is how successful I'm going to be and how successful the practice is going to be. So I'm looking at it all the time for action items to make it better. So,
fantastic.
Yep.
Cody, you have now moved on to a program that doesn't require you to enter every staff member's stats,
Right.
you to have sole access to statistics and graphs and the org board and such. What do your staff feel about this? And what about getting your staff on statistics and getting them to report statistics? How hard was that, and how important do you feel it is that the staff themselves enter their statistics?
So there was a big change in the staff when we moved towards stats. We had prepped them up for, hey, we're going to make these changes. We're going to have the software we're working with. Most of your employees are on computers. They're used to being on a computer. So what's one more thing, right? And the great thing is when you get the statistics in, because they didn't have statistics before. They were tracking what they did, but they didn't have any ownership of what it was. And that's what was created through it. Is like, oh, I want to get my stats up. Everyone can see my stats. I want to look good, right? So we saw definitely a change in a lot of our team members that moved everybody towards ownership of their posts, their statistics. So it was good.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about other things that you end up using this for with regards to staff. Like what other functions and aspects are you using?
So the big thing is obviously the statistics portion, but I'm working on the hatting manuals right now, which is that's a big project going from zero to something. So a lot of references. Hey, if you don't understand something, a team member would be able to go on this platform, which they're already logged into on all of their computers, and hey, how do I do something better? Right, in the practice, maybe how to make a call, how to do calls better, phone scripts, whatever it is you need, you're going to be able to search on the platform for these references, all your policies, what do I need to do in a day, and it's great for training new team members as well. That's probably one of the best things so far that I've seen with it is just, hey, where am I in the organization? What do I need to do? What does that look like? Okay, here's my stat. Right, so it gets everybody like really centered in the organization on what to do next.
Great,
so, no.
Love it. Yeah. What are your most favorite features of this thing, and what are your least favorite features or least used?
Probably my most favorite feature would be just having stats in one place. I know we have the enterprise suite coming in the near future, so with expansion, you're going to be able to basically what that is look at all of your practices data, and you're going to be able to tab back and forth between all of your practices very easily and look at basically your trends, your stats, your production, your collection, etc. But probably my least favorite is just the intuitiveness sometimes for like working with your organization board, because everybody has a different organization. Not everybody has the perfect cookie cutter 7 division setup, right? So everybody's a little different, so I probably would love to see more changes with org board creativity and the ability to manipulate that more. Can't really think of anything else off the top of my mind, but that's probably the biggest one for me.
And if we were to tell you that we've just completed a full upgrade of that and we're about to launch,
okay, yeah,
would you be interested to preview that and pilot that?
Very excited to see that and try that out.
It's called the org board builder.
Okay.
And full flexibility, even choosing colors of your divisions,
Perfect.
Adding deputies.
That's awesome. That's what I want, because in the past, it was a little buggy, right?
Yeah.
But it's gotten a lot better since I first started using it. I mean, I've been using this for 6+ months, so we've been piloting this for some time. So it is very usable now. It's a great build. I like it a lot. You can get it set up within weeks and be using it in your practice. So, yeah.
Awesome. Thank you, Cody.
Yeah, you're welcome. Okay.
So, Cody, if I was a new staff member, how would you introduce me to the org board as the establishment officer for your practice?
Okay. So probably the first thing is I would probably show them the organization as a whole. Hey, where do I fit into this, right? So here on the side, you have all these different icons for different functions of the dashboard. So we would go to the org board. And we can play with it here, and you have all 7 divisions, so I would basically do an org board clear with them. We would clear what an org board is, what a particle is, all those different things, the lines, etc. And then I would work them through the divisions, and I would show them, hey, this is a flow chart, and this is how your product, affects the next division, affects that next post, and, how different particles come to you, what that should look like, and how it should look like when it travels on through the organization, right? So I would do a clear of sorts with them, right? And then we would get to, okay, so what division are you in? All right, and they would say, I'm in the communications division. Okay, great. What department are you in? Oh, I'm reception, or routing and personnel in this case. And then what's your post, your terminal receptionist, right? So I would do a clear with them, right? So I start here. And then the very next thing I might jump right into is I might show them the statistics, right? Well, if I go back to the org board here, every position, and you can click on it here, it's going to show their purpose and their products, okay? And typically when we're talking about products, we're talking about your statistics, right? So purpose being, the VFP of that post, right? And
Valuable final product.
Yep. Yeah. And that's important because they might not know what that is, right? For some, it might just be a job. Up to that point, they don't know that there's purpose in everything we do, right? So I'd show them, okay, here's the purpose, the product, and then, if there's hatting packs associated with that position, it's going to show that here. All the stats, checklists if you have them, and flow charts. So it's basically just kind of a summary of, all the things tied in with that position. And then the next thing I would do is I would probably go to the statistics itself. So in this case, like here's one of my treatment plan coordinators, CC. So like I would show her, okay, you're going to start, keeping track of how much treatment that you present. Okay. And if I had a coordinator before her, it's going to have all of that data there, hopefully, so they can see, okay, this is where I was. And then I would, okay, hey, this is probably our goal, moving forward, right? Depending on how many days you work, et cetera, et cetera. You'll figure out your goals as you go. But I would show them, hey, you're just going to look for your name. I like to put names on the stats. It just makes it easier for them to find it because then they can just search right here for their name. It's pretty simple. But they would find their statistic, and, I would show them, hey, we have a new feature where it shows, our spikes and our crashes, right? And it's significant because, we try to manage statistics every day, right? So we want to know our increases and our decreases, right? So I'd show them the line graph over here, and you can change, how many days you want to see. If you want to change it to weekly or monthly, depending on, what you're doing, you can see that information and what the lines are doing. And then how you would edit these is you would click that button right there, and it will allow you to edit the values. You can scroll up and down. It's very simple. You just put in a number. I don't know if it will on monthly because it's probably a daily. Put 20, and it will just update automatically. You don't have to save anything. I like it. It's just plug and play. You put the number in, and it plots it for you. You don't have to scale it. The computer does it for you. So that's probably one of my favorite aspects. I really love this platform. But it's visual. Your staff can see it right away. They can see the changes they're making in the practice and the differences they're making. So,
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.